What? Very about to invite your lover, church. Huh?
Why are people saying good morning in here?
You seen that? I've seen that too.
Happy early birthday. Sir, my birthday's Saturday.
Before I read this paperwork, you need to understand something. This is not a motion. This is not a complaint. This is a federal declaration filed from inside the jail under the penalty of perjury. And in this paperwork, Big, you was telling the judge that the government took his defense, isolated him, and made it nearly impossible for him to prepare for trial. But here's the part nobody is talking about. He's not even asking for more time. Nah, he's asking for something way more dangerous, because once this is on the record, it never comes off. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why this filing matters, even if he loses every single motion. Y'all ready for this one? Good 20-minute video before you head to bed. Let's go. Hit that like button like you like something too, please. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to jump around on a couple of pages. We will not be reading the whole entire thing. I know there's probably lots of cheers and all that stuff going on, but it is what it is. So y'all can see this is Big U. And basically what he wrote is, Defendant Eugene Henley Jr.'s submission of letter and declaration regarding conditions of confinement and their impact on his ability to participate in defense preparation. Dear Honorable Fernando L. Elena Rocha? I'm just going to say Rocha. Yeah. District Judge, I respectfully submit this letter and enclosed declaration for the court's awareness regarding conditions that have both existed and newly developed during my pretrial detention at MDC Los Angeles, and the ways in which those conditions have affected my ability to review discovery, communicate with counsel, and meaningfully participate in the preparation of my defense in this case. It is important to me that the court understand that I am not filing a motion and I am not requesting a continuance or additional delay in these proceedings. In fact, absent being granted bond, I will always assert my speedy trial rights. The purpose of this submission is to provide the court with an accurate record of my circumstances, including events that occurred after my original detention.
So it sounds like Big U, he having a time in there, right? And I ain't talking about a good one. You feel me? Of course, right? They can do whatever they want to do. See, that's what always kind of scared me about jail. It ain't jail. You know what I'm talking about? Like jail, it ain't being in there or this, that, and the third, or the time is vicious for sure. Like if they take somebody away for a significant amount of time, that's devastating. But the fact that they can grab you up, do whatever they want to you, bro. You tell your peoples they lost you somewhere, bro. You fell out the car. We don't know. It's just who gonna do something about it, bro? Feel me?
Hearing and explain how those conditions affect my ability to exercise my constitutional rights while my case is pending. The enclosed declaration describes in detail the placement in administrative detention, the seizure and non-return of my legal materials and discovery, USB limitations on discovery access, interruptions in medical accommodations, continuing legal mail issues, the investigative hold on my trust account, and the failure to carry out a prior court order relating to the death of my son while I have been in custody. Oh, wow. I have also described the steps I have taken to raise these issues internally and through institutional channels. My intention in submitting this letter is that I am asking the court to be aware of these developments and the impact they are having on my ability to participate in my defense, and that the court consider any relief or guidance it finds appropriate. Aside from continuing trial, I reaffirm that I am not asking the court to delay the case. I am trying to move forward and to participate meaningfully, but under the conditions described in the declaration, I do not have a realistic ability to do so. Absent intervention, this court deems necessary. If the court believes a hearing, clarification, or further submission from counsel is appropriate, I will, of course, defer to the court's decision. Thank you for your time and consideration. Respectfully submitted, Eugene Henley Jr., defendant, dated January 4th, 2026. In the easiest ways and terms necessary, basically all he's saying is, bruh, how am I supposed to get ready for trial when literally y'all keep on doing all this messed up ass stuff? Y'all screwing me over. Y'all ain't even adhering to what we had already agreed to. And I wonder what the hell happened with his son. Is he going to say that they didn't allow him to basically go to the funeral virtually? I don't know. But what I do know is, boom, we got that app now. Yeah.
And see, I'm an American, bro. That's real. Like, I ain't gonna lie. It's, at this point, we understand that we all Americans. We over here, this, that, and the third. But imagine making a complaint to the court, right? Who's trying to prosecute you or whatever have you, and about the injustices that's going on. They, it just crazy that you gotta plead with these people and hope they hear your cries. Feel me? When they already they want you to do this time, bro. You get, type shit. Or, and I ain't like, bro,
Fast Cash got that app, bro. Y'all been killing it. So the easiest way to get on the games, and you ain't got to scan the QR code and all that crap every time, is scan this QR code or tap the link in the description so you can get that. And when you do, I'm going to give you $5. Yeah, hot $5. They're going to automatically, once you sign up, boom, they're going to put $5 in your account already ready to go. Go and win. Nobody's calling this crap a scam. Hell, Drake can't even say he did that. Drizzy. But anyways, Let's continue on with this Bigu paperwork. It does get intense. Roll it. Failure to follow court order. As this court is aware, while I've been detained, in this case, my son was murdered. Losing my child while I am in custody has been amongst the most challenging experiences of my life. In connection with my son's passing, the court issued an order related to my ability to have contact or participation. Despite that order, I was not permitted the contact or participation that the court intended. The order was not followed. I was not able to be present for my son in the way the court had authorized and made an exception after his death. I was not allowed private viewing, even though there was a court order for this. Of course, I will never have that opportunity again. This has caused my family extreme grief and distress. It also affects how I experience my detention. I'm trying to process the death of my child while at the same time being asked to assist in a complex RICO defense with almost no access to materials or pertinent discovery. The failure to follow the court's order about my son's death has also affected my confidence that any institutional promises or any future accommodations will actually be carried out, with or without a court order. When a court order concerning a matter as serious as the death of a person's child is not honored, it is very hard for me to trust the less formal assurances about discovery or access will be respected. As I continue to grieve my son, the combination of that loss, the unfulfilled court order.
I wonder if all the chatter about Big U being released and being able to go to the funeral or whatever have you is what led them to just be like, fuck it, we not even gonna let him do it. Not even through online type shit, right? And I wonder if they like playing it like, now he innocent until proven guilty, right? But I wonder if they playing it like, well, you in here for allegedly killing somebody else's son, and you talking about your son? You better get the fuck, type shit.
And the conditions described below directly affects my state. Legal mail problems and access to case documents. During my time at MDC Los Angeles, there have been ongoing problems with my legal mail. Based on what my attorneys of record have told me, I understand that approximately 25 pieces of legal correspondence were extremely delayed or never reached me at all. I am in my attorneys that some of those mailings were even sent without tracking or with tracking. On multiple occasions, legal mail has arrived, so of course not open in my presence. On other occasions, I've been told mail was sent, but I never received it. These problems have involved important materials such as my indictment and other case documents or legal notes. I believe between 1 and 3 legal professionals can and would declare to the same. For a long period of time, I did not have a complete copy of my indictment, even though my counsel tried repeatedly to send it. I did not actually obtain a copy of my indictment until December 2025. On January 1st, 2026, when I was suddenly and abruptly moved to special housing unit with zero knowledge as to a reason why, I lost access to my indictment and other legal papers. At an earlier detention proceeding, the government referred to recorded calls and to issues related to legal mail, although they are allegedly a completely different entity than MDC. That caused me to be concerned that communication connected to legal matters might have been accessed or shared in ways I did not understand. As a result, I become hesitant about freely discussing case strategy over the phone. I have submitted numerous cop-outs, emails, and formal grievances about my missing or mishandled legal mail, and I have raised these issues verbally with staff, including at the highest levels. The general response has been that there is no problem, with the notable exception of Officer Reyna and Delgado on an email actually acknowledging that one item of legal mail was open outside of my presence. See,
you hear this shit, bro? Are you understanding what's going on, bro? He pleading with the court for them not to, for him to get a fair shot, basically. Please let me get my mail. Please let me do, let me do this, do that. It's just absurd to be like pleading with the people who prosecute you, right? Do that make sense, bro? Do it make sense to you? Keep it real, bro. It's like, bro.
Of USB and legal work product. On January 1st, 2026, I believe staff conducted a search of my cell and my property. During that search, they took my USB drive that contained discovery materials provided by my attorneys, as well as my handwritten legal notes, drafts, research, and other defense work product. To my knowledge, the USB and those legal materials were not inventoried. When I asked about them, staff had not acknowledged that they exist or that they were taken. Although my attorneys still possess copies of discovery in their own files. Of the seized handwritten materials reflected my thought process, questions, and observations developed over prior meetings. Without those personal defense notes, I cannot meaningfully build upon earlier discussions or recall what issues I had already raised or identified. Having counsel retain their own copies is not a substitute for my ability to retain and reference my own defense work product while assisting in preparation. The papers that were removed were clearly labeled as legal mail or attorney work product. They contained my notes about what my lawyers had explained to me, thoughts about the evidence, and questions I have written down to discuss with counsel. On January 2nd, 2026, I telephonically notified my attorney, Peter Johnson, about my shoe conditions related to legal documents as well as health topics. I also let him know I would be submitting a letter directly to you about various topics, to which he did not object. The USB contained approximately 500 non-protected discovery files provided to me from my attorneys. However, almost all of my most important discovery in this case is under a protective order. That protected material can only be reviewed when my defense team is physically present. The seizure on non-return USB and legal items, including handwritten legal work, has cut off my ability to continue any of the prior work I had done to understand my case. I cannot go back to my notes, cannot track what we have already discussed, and cannot build on earlier sessions. In practical terms,
I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's not hella crazy. They stealing this man's like that's like, you supposed to have a lawyer to help you, right, with your shit, which it seems that he's like, the lawyers is like assisting him. Cause remember they were saying he was representing himself, and it sounded like that because you can't address the courts unless you are the attorney. That's why they call it power of attorney. Like with Wendy Williams and them, because that's who's speaking for them at the time, right? But it just hella strange that you trying to plead with these people and you gotta basically just hope they hear you out, bro. And like after all the shit that's been done wrong, they stealing mail, they doing this, they seclude me, they doing it, all this. It's just hella crazy, brother. But this is America, bro, and that's why.
I'm forced to start over with almost nothing in my hands. Shoe placement and legal investigative status. Also on January 1st, 2026, I was moved to special housing unit at MDC Los Angeles. Lil Durk is my other cellmate. I was told this was administrative detention and that the stated reason was classification. I did not receive any incident report, disciplinary write-up, or hearing related to this move. To my knowledge, there was no finding that I committed a disciplinary infraction that required shoe placement. Since being in shoe, my ability to meet and consult with my counsel becomes much more limited as as this district is well aware. Due to several attorney filing motions about this, legal visits require additional escorting and approval and have non-reported or advertised additional time constraints. There are, therefore, more delays and more uncertainty about when and how visits can occur. My access to legal materials in my cell is also more restricted. The combination of shoe placement, investigative status, and the removal of my USB and notes has made it extremely difficult for me to in the future have normal attorney-client meetings or to review materials in a continuous, organized way going forward. Contrary to what I anticipate to be characterized as a challenge, I am describing the practical effects of this placement on my ability to participate in my defense. Now listen. I know there are people who are, talking shit and all this stuff and everything, and some would call it karma, which, once again, I don't believe in. So if you're one of those people saying, well, Big, you 100% guilty of murdering somebody else's child. So I find it interesting that that your son got murdered, and now you can't go see him because they can't see their child grow up. So you get what you get, and you only are there because you murdered somebody's child. If you one of those people, then it is what it is. Do I know?
See, I understand where the people coming from who might feel like it's overwhelming evidence against Bigu or whatever. He might have been a bully to the community, hella shit. You know what I'm saying? People who feel like I get that, but I also understand the legal process, right? And how unfair it is, how unjust it is, type shit. And it's just, bro, like it's just the fact that to play in somebody's face, bro. You want me to hire a lawyer? No, you just listen. You know what I'm saying? You want him to hire a lawyer. You still his legal mail. You intercepting phone calls, listening in with him. That's supposed to be a client. Between attorney and a client is those phone calls is private, bro. You're not supposed to be able to impede on no shit like that. But they can do whatever they want to do, bro. We didn't see that. Look what they did with Jay Diggs, bro. They didn't give Jay Diggs 18 years, bro. Or 10. They gave him 10, but they wanted to give him 18. If it wasn't for, that's what I'm saying. If it wasn't for Diggs' mama pleading with them people, keep it.
Believe that Bigu murdered that boy? I have no goddamn idea. I wouldn't put nothing past nobody. I'm just going to be fair and square, obvious and honest. Do I think he did it? I hope to God he didn't do it. I really hope he didn't do it. But if there is evidence that shows that he did it, then shit. Buck up, soldier.
He could.
But here's the worst thing. The guards are ignoring the orders of everything. They had this crazy saying to say, the inmates are running the prison. Well, them guards making sure they keep their foot on their neck. And even if you believe that Bigu doesn't deserve rights and all this stuff and you already found him guilty, the thing is this. We still have laws that keep us from becoming like those who you believe should basically be held in prison for however long y'all may think they do. I'm not here to discuss that with y'all. But what I am here to say is this. They dead ass wrong. It's your job, not your feelings. See, everybody who would say anything negative or positive towards Bigu, the ones who say whatever they want to say, you can use logic and all that, and you can use feelings. But a guard is not afforded that. A guard is a dog. You do what you told, and you get your treat, a.k.a. your money, regardless of personal feelings. So they probably going to fire back and have to say, yo, Bigu was raucous and all of this shit and everything and didn't want to do this and didn't want to do that. They're going to fire back because they have to. Because if this is true, bruh, this ain't good. Let's continue on. We'll read all the way to page 11 on this and we'll call it a day. Including restricted attorney access, loss of materials, and interruption of previously authorized accommodations. Regardless of the institution's reasons for placement, my resulting restrictions materially affect my ability to prepare my case. Medical, chrono, and loss of CPAP. So he already had it in other accommodations.
Oh, so he needed CPAP? He got breathing? See, if you got pre-existing conditions, bro, going to jail, especially at a later age, ain't gonna be good for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. But it sounded like they was like, he said, shh, don't say too much. He a Perkin. Feel me? Because they put him in there with Lil Durk. Sound like him and Lil Durk was sellies for a minute. Durk beat this shit. He gonna have some story to tell. Bigu beat this shit. He gonna have some story to tell. Which he should. Like, based on all the foul play that's been at hand already, niggas should be a shoe-in for to beat this. But who gonna hear him out, bro? They want to convict you, and that's what they want to do, bro. They want you to do 1,000 years. Nigga, that's what's gonna happen, bro. Who gonna cry and march about it, bro? That's all that's gonna happen, bro.
Okay. So before, or maybe he didn't. Hold on, let me read this because I don't want to say this wrong. Before coming into federal custody, I was prescribed a CPAP medicine for sleep apnea. MDC medical staff issued a Bureau of Prisons medical chrono authorizing use of CPAP machine. Okay, cool. A knee brace and a 2-mattress accommodation. I also wear prescription glasses. After I was moved to SHU on January 1st, 2026, my CPAP machine and plug were taken. I was allowed to use the CPAP briefly, but when it was taken away again, since that time, I have repeatedly requested that it be returned and have explained that I am worried about serious health conditions if I go without. Put frankly, death can occur for those who require breathing machines when they sleep if they do not have one. Therefore, since being in the SHU without it, I simply cannot allow myself to fall asleep whatsoever. Okay. My additional mattress accommodation due to back and shoulder injury and my eyeglasses have also not been provided in SHU. My knee brace was returned after a short period, but the lack of sleep support and proper bedding has made my physical discomfort worse. Without the CPAP and the full set of accommodations, I have trouble focusing and I feel physically worn down, as can be anticipated. That makes it much harder for me to concentrate during future legal visits or to review any materials I do receive. Trust account investigative hold and communication limits. This ought to be interesting. A $2,500 investigative hold has been placed on my inmate trust account. I was not given an explanation for why this hold was placed or what event or investigation triggered it. Such a hold is to hinder a person's ability to purchase commissary items such as food or hygiene items, and with the ability to use computer systems such as core links that I also rely on to coordinate regarding my defense when I was not in the shoe. Attempts to resolve these issues internally. I have tried to address these problems through the channels that are available to me. I have submitted multiple cop-outs. I have filed a BP-8 informal resolution and a BP-9 grievance. I have sent a grievance to the regional director. I have even contacted.
So basically, they ain't trying to hear that shit. You feel me? That's why it ain't even good to be playing these type of games. Like, that's why I be looking at some of these dudes, bro, be acting like they fake mobbing or like they hard or whatever. It's like, bro, if you willing to go to jail and play them games, bro, I guess you is harder or crazier than the next person, bro, because it don't make sense, bro. You hella weird.
Postal Service about the mishandling of my mail. For some examples, I have raised these issues verbally many times with staff in my unit and with supervisors, including at the warden level. The general response has been to say that there is no issue or to not take any corrective action. As of the time of this declaration, the USB and legal papers have not been returned. My discovery access remains extremely limited. My mail problems continue, and my medical accommodations are still not provided. This is not a complaint about comfort, inconvenience, or general detention conditions. The conditions described are directly tied to my ability to see evidence, understand the government's allegations, and communicate with counsel in a continuous and organized way. In other words, these conditions affect the court.
It's so many, bro. Shout out, Sid, bro. You know, if you want, I'm gonna have a link to his channel in this video in the description. My nigga Seti, boy. Like, so, you know, what the thing is, you know, it's a trip that, you know, he sound like he trying to fight the good fight or whatever, and he keep trying to, like, you know, he keeps saying he keep trying to reach out and get some of these issues he have resolved. And guess what? He say, this like, it's basically like he's super, I can't even fight against y'all, bro. They like, good, motherfucker, we trying to give you 100 years, bro. For sure, bro. That's exactly what's going on. And then I heard it was been other shit where on the phone it's been like loose talking and just hella other shit, bro. On top of, like, you know, them having past grievances with you. They feel like you just start the whole city type shit. That's what it, you know, they like, bro. They say it's a man's world, right? But it's a W in front of that, right? And certain people forget that, and they be trying to move hella mean, and they be like, bro, you all right, whatever you want to do, bro. We run this shit. We made all the rules up, so you can go get you a lawyer and file all the motions you want. If I don't like the way the motions sound today, you ain't getting it, bitch. Simple as that, dude. You ain't getting no CPAP machine. Your bitch ass ain't getting no knee brace. Shut the fuck up type shit. Yeah, bro, you knock somebody else son down. Shut up. Don't worry type shit, bro. That's how they coming, bro. So I don't understand why. That's why, like, for a nigga to try to act hard to another nigga, bro, you got the audacity to try to act like you mobbing or you hard, nigga, or a nigga gotta respect you, nigga. You nigga, bro, you better get up out, bro. You better shut up, nigga, for a nigga. And then see, it's a playing with some of these niggas. It's a lose-lose situation, bro. Cause you fuck around and end up in the kennel, bro. Shout out West Coast Gang Wars, my nigga. Feel me, blood. You know what I'm talking about? But so you fuck around and end up in the kennel, right? Playing with these weird ass niggas. Cause, you know, they act like they not scared to go to jail and all this other shit. It just be a lot, bro. Fucking with these weird ass nigga. It's, I ain't gonna lie, it's hard to watch some of these dudes run around perping and faking. And you like, this nigga gotta be infidel, bro. Cause how he act like he just exempt from the rules, bro. You know, everybody be around this motherfucker mobbing. It's best to just stay out their way, bro. Real talk, it's best to be to the neck. Don't even play them type of games. The streets is over with, nigga. It's so many niggas that's infidel and working with them people. What? If it, you know, only thing that keeps certain people away from doing that is that they already on one side of the fence, right? And also the other shit is the more, like, it's only a few left niggas that have morals and integrity and principle and or who just don't align with that type of shit, right? And who wouldn't do it. But a lot of these niggas, especially feeling slighted from the street, a lot of niggas act like, oh, I love streets, I love niggas be having grudges, nigga, to the streets. Streets and left a nigga broke. Nigga, streets and took a nigga bitch. Streets and took a nigga to jail. Streets ain't gave you nothing back. Took. See what I'm talking about? So you know, it just be hella many. And you know, at this point, you just see niggas perping. You like, oh, he perping, bro. They got somebody for you, a perking for you, and they got a nice little spot for you. Most niggas don't want to go in there, sit down on that shit, so they gonna give you up, bro.
Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Say ho, you can't be playing with that paper, ho. Nigga need that yaper, need it now and not later, ho. Ay, I need that cheese like a grater, ho. Don't play me like no cent, cause I never Captain Saber, ho. Yeah, but you can fucking be my waiter, ho. Long as you get paper, ho, cause shit, that's what the paper's for. Y'all niggas chasing dough, but what we racing?
He's asking for something way more dangerous because once this is on the record, it never comes off. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why this filing matters even if he loses every single motion. Y'all ready for this one? Good 20-minute video before you head to bed. Let's go. Hit that like button like you like something too, please. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to jump around on a couple of pages. We will not be reading the whole entire thing. I know there's probably lots of cheers and all that stuff going on, but it is what it is. So y'all can see this is Big U. And basically what he wrote is, defending Eugene Lee Jr.'s submission of letter and declaration regarding conditions of confinement and their impact on his...
Welcome to another episode
Okay, so he's pleading with the court to get a fair shot, but they doing it, man. They cut his commissary off. What? They cut his commissary off. They done cut his phone time off, his any type of electronics like a tablet. He has no access to a tablet. They put him in the hole. They cut his commissary. What else can I say, man? They trying to cook that man, Big U, man. Crazy, man. Y'all go support Big U by going to your local smoke shop and buying a pack of colors. They're like 52 cents or something like that. You know, you could do that for him. That's his brand. You'll go buy as many colors as you can. Go over there to your neighborhood smoke shop and buy as many colors as you can. They cool to put on your wood or whatever. You can get it loose leaf, wrap it with a color. It'll burn slow, man. But we off to the next one. Hit that like button, hit that hype button, hit the notification bell, follow that Flip Thoughts Reloaded. We out.